graduated,
Uh-huh.
and then you just go into a career.
Right.
Now,
Right.
coming from the Caribbean,
Yes.
and certain careers were just like, if you did not do them, you were a nobody.
Right.
You know, I saw
Right.
this funny African
Right.
comedian, you know, where she said, like, you know, if you grew up in an African home, if you were a doctor, a lawyer, a scientist,
Yeah.
you could be either four things: a
Yeah.
doctor, a lawyer, a scientist, or a disgrace to the family.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so,
Yes.
thinking
Yes.
beyond just the typical
Right.
doctor, lawyer
Right.
things, you know, and maybe if you even ventured thinking about becoming, maybe if you had a talent for singing,
Right.
you know, you did that. Parents were not too encouraging about
Right.
that.
Right.
And so to know that you can actually use science,
Absolutely.
technology, engineering, and even simply math is one of the struggles I had.
Mm-hmm.
Simply that you can do all these things.
Yes.
Something as helping someone to eat
Right.
is amazing to me.
Yes.
And it gives me like, wow, what did I do with my life? But
But
I digress.
it's okay though. I mean, it's okay because you still have life to live,
Of
and you
course.
still have the ability to make that impact wherever you are right now
Correct.
to start today. You
That's
know.
correct. But the simple fact that I can know, I can encourage another young person to,
Right.
because you know, you ask your children or you ask, you know, young people around you, whoa, so how was school today?
Right.
You know, what's your favorite subject? That type of thing.
Right.
And to know that you can hone in on things that kids actually like.
Yes.
And build from that is amazing to me, and actually build a career, a lucrative career at
Yes.
that too.
Yes.
For their future. So
Yes.
there is much more than just a typical doctor, lawyer, singer, dancer.
Right.
There is far more than one. And you have to really think about it. Who makes these things? You know, you get on an airplane, you see these different things. There's someone behind us just doing it and enjoying
Yes.
it, just like how you enjoy that.
Yes. Yes. And you know it's interesting because yes, we all those of us that grew up in the Caribbean,
Yes.
doctor, lawyer,
Yes.
you know, or accountant or teacher or something,
Yes,
you know,
and
nurse,
that's
and those were like the staple, you know, occupations that they will push you to that were seen as being you have made it.
Correct.
You know?
That is correct.
And so that's why part of the STEM club I do is I bring in STEM professionals that you wouldn't even think about that's working behind the scenes, but that you can see their impact in something an output that you use all the time. You know, I talk to these young boys that, you know, they're gaming and, you know, are we doing this game and I'm on YouTube and I'm doing tutorials about the game and stuff. And I'm like, well, imagine if you made that game though.
Correct.
You're talking about being the gamer.
Yes.
I'm talking about making that game.
Yes.
You know? So go on the back end of it and code that thing, and then you make money now from all the people out here doing tutorials on your stuff. That's the mentality that we really need to get in our young people, that taking them out of the consumerist,
Correct.
you know,
Yes,
the
yes.
user, and creating them to be the developer behind it. Like, so when I see that, I'm like, okay, someone made that, and what are the nuts and bolts behind it? That's the way I want you to think. Even if you decide not to figure out how to build it, the fact alone that you're thinking in that manner
Yes, yes.
is really what we're trying to spark with them.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Awesome. So tell us more about DNA Awesome.
Okay. Okay. Well, DNA Awesome. DNA Awesome is very young. We are currently a full STEM curriculum program. When I say that because there are a lot of programs out there that focus on robotics, that focus on coding alone, that focus on, you know, math camps and stuff like that. We actually cover every area of STEM. So science, technology, engineering, and math. And how we have kicked off DNA Awesome this current school year is we have a pilot school that's in Hyattsville, and they are going through full STEM every quarter. They're taking science, they're taking technology, they're taking engineering, they're taking math. And so they're at the end of the school year would have a full exposure to STEM by the end of the school year. So we're after school programs. We're doing summer camps. I have a summer camp that's going to be kicking off in Baltimore this coming summer. And I'm actually right now looking for a location in PG County because I want to kick off one for this coming summer in PG County as well. But yeah, we get hands-on with the kids and we just expose them. We take them to field trips around the DC area. The great thing about DC is it is so rich.
That's correct.
With these museums.
That's correct.
And all these places that you can take kids and just expose them to little things, you know, that may spark in a child an idea like, wow, I can actually do that.
Yes.
Or I can see myself doing this, you know? And so we take them on field trips. We also bring in STEM professionals to talk about what they do on a day-to-day basis, what it looks like, and what area of STEM they focused on once they got into college to help them do what they're doing. And not only that, but then what track they had to take through school.
Yes.
You know, right now I'm working on, they talk about the pipeline to prison, foolishness that they're talking about right now.
Yes.
I'm right now working on a STEM pipeline to PhD.
That's right.
Because we're not ushering our children into the hand of the correctional system. We're not doing that because by removing their options, what I'm doing is I'm exposing them to not just a lucrative career, but to opportunities that will allow them to not only be of service, not only be of service to their families, but to their communities and change generations. And so DNA Awesome focuses on that. Like you said, our club motto comes from Psalm 139, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Once children connect with the fact that their Creator made them for excellence, when they connect with that and they believe that, you know what, everything I touch should excel, everything because of who I came from, when they believe that, then it's amazing what they can do. And so I try to get them from young ages, from kindergarten, to show them, listen, you weren't created for foolishness, so I don't want to see foolishness. You know, our mothers used to tell us that. Don't let me see you in the street acting up. You know, our mothers used to say that. But I'm telling the kids, every session that we have, our instructors for DNA Awesome, they are saying the same thing. They stand up and they repeat Psalm 139, 14 to 18 every session. And I told them that we're going to do this because with your lips, you will determine your next move. And so we are not playing games when it comes to all this negative self-talk. I need positive self-talk, and I want you guys to start with the Word of God at the beginning of every session. So we say that at the beginning of every session, and that's why our tagline is designed for excellence. Because each one of us, our DNA is a genetic code for excellence from our Creator, and it's all unique, which speaks to His awesomeness alone, in that we are all unique. You can take my DNA and know exactly who it is. I can take yours and know exactly who you are, because we were created for that. And so once we believe in our awesomeness just from our creation alone, and once we then apply that to how we now move through with purpose in life, then that then determines where you go and who you touch, and you then begin to impact your community. You then begin to change generations. And I'm using STEM to do it.
That's awesome.
I'm using STEM to teach the kids that, I'm going to teach you something that allows you to be a productive citizen, that you can then change and impact your community and change the next generation. When I teach you this, then it will open you up for scholarships.
Yes.
Your parents will not have to pay you to go to school.
Wow.
Now, I have 3 kids. Please, I have 3 kids. I told my children, I'm not paying for you to go to school. I'm not paying for college. And the reason for that is because I am pouring into you, so that when you get to that age, you can stand tall with everybody else and unapologetically do so. So yeah, DNA Awesome, we do a whole lot of pouring in to our kids, and we use STEM as a basis for it. We also have a layer on top of the STEM curriculum, because it's not just STEM that we're doing. We do character building as well. So they get lessons on kindness, compassion, forgiveness. They get lessons on that and service, so that, like I said, they know to take the expertise that they learn and that the exposure that they've been given, they know how to now take that back to their community and mentor somewhere else. The kids, there is a mentoring aspect to DNA Awesome as well with the students, where they mentor each other. That teaches accountability for one another. That teaches that in our community we are accountable to each other. And so it doesn't look like, oh well, she's over there acting up. No, if she's over there acting up, we all over here acting up. Wow. And so I need you to be accountable.
That's correct.
I need us to understand the accountability, and once we have that accountability, then we're able to build a community, a strong community that supports one another, and then teaches the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. And that's what DNA Awesome. That's what DNA Awesome is.
Thank you. This is very encouraging to know that this is in this inception, this beginning of this. I see so many great things happening with this, so I'm excited for you guys with this. So where do you see DNA Awesome in next, let's say, 2 to 5 years?
So I mentioned that the current school that we are in Hyattsville is our pilot chapter. So what we're doing is DNA Awesome is going to be the umbrella, and we're going to have schools come in as chapters. And so we have our pilot school that is in Hyattsville, that is our initial chapter. and I'm adding 2 more schools in the fall, one in Baltimore and one in Capitol Heights. And so in the next 2 years, I plan to have several chapters. I plan to have several DNA Awesome graduates. I plan to have children who are going on to declare STEM majors in college and get there and get that pipeline in from college to PhD. I have relationships, partnerships with University of Maryland. I've met with them a few weeks ago, and I talked to them about their pipeline entering undergrad into PhD STEM careers. And so in the next 2 years, I have right now 4 8th graders that are in my Hyattsville. They're going to be pipelined into their high school and received into a STEM program so that they then continue through their 4 years of high school, and then they will then be pipelined into undergrad and then received and pipelined to PhD if they decide to go on that track. The hope is that we create such a love for it and we create such a desire to make that change that they are successful all the way through PhD. Throughout that process, they have coaches, they have all that stuff. So in 2 years, increased chapters, graduates who are going into high school and following the pipeline, and just building the students who are under DNA Awesome, who believe Psalm 139, that they were created for excellence, and who will then take it to someone else and say, you too were created for excellence, so let's do this together. So that's where I see us in 2 years.
What I see, you still doing that with MIT at some point.
Hey, yes.
Aim for it.
Yes,
I mean, really,
yes.
I'm truly elated by that. It's almost like she was all in our show last year.
Yeah.
Because during our introduction, when we first really started the show, we really wanted to, one of our things other than dealing with grief was to also encourage to trigger the minds of children.
Yes.
Not in high school,
Right.
not in middle school, no, as children.
Yes.
Because life has a way to, like, it can discourage you at any point. It can block you. You can be stuck.
Right.
But the earlier, the better. In the womb. I mean, putting like some Dre by Beats things on your stomach and play. You're gonna be STEM.
Yes.
But I'm really excited, and after the show, we're gonna most definitely want to stay in contact with you and promote you in everything that you do. So please keep us in touch. But that's what I'm seeing.
Absolutely.
Beyond my
and you know, interestingly enough, I do have schools in the Caribbean that I'm reaching out to. So it's not just DC area.
Yes.
I have schools in Atlanta. I'm meeting with a few in a few months down in Atlanta. Coming from Atlanta, I still have a huge network there, and so we are also going to be working with schools in Atlanta and the Caribbean. And literally, it's a replicated program that we can take anywhere. And so if you're in Texas, if you're in Michigan, if you're in California, we can get to you. And just start kind of building the pods of awesomeness throughout the nation and the Caribbean. That's kind of where we are.
I want to find out with the STEM.
Yes.
A little bit, going back a little bit. What has been the most challenging part of your journey in educating us about minorities?
Yeah. Wow. So the most challenging thing when it comes to educating about the importance of STEM, I think, our community, and it's not a bad thing, but I think our community needs to understand that we have to reinvent ourselves at times. We have really pushed a lot of our young people into sports and into the arts, and that's really not bad, because you have people who have been really good and successful in sports that turn around and help their communities. But now when you see that there is a lack of diversity in STEM, and where you have companies offering top dollar from minorities in STEM because we are just not there. Like, we are not there. When you see that, that's an opportunity. Yes. And our community needs to pay attention to that. So when I talk about scholarships coming out of high school, companies are throwing money at minority children in STEM because we do not exist. We do not exist when it comes to college, declaring STEM majors in college, and we do not exist when it comes to being on the top for offering jobs when we get out of school. And so when you see that, okay, you throwing money at me? Okay, really, you giving me scholarships? Or when you see organizations who are targeting minorities in STEM getting grants, when you see that, you have to now reinvent yourself and take advantage of the opportunity. And our community is not doing that well enough or fast enough.
Yes.
We're not doing it. And so the greatest challenge is convincing us that I understand you like to watch basketball.
Yes.
I understand you want to put your son in a basketball camp. but I need you to also look over here at this engineering camp.
Yes.
Because what I'm doing for you is I am exposing your son to this that is making him much more marketable
Yes.
Yes.
to the people who are looking at him.
Yes.
I'm taking your daughter out of the singing competitions. Now, I'm a singer. I ain't got nothing wrong. That's what I do on the side, okay? But I'm taking your daughter out of the singing competitions,
Yes.
and I'm placing her in a place where at that table, she would be the only face. I was the only face at a table for years.
Yes.
I was the only face in my classes undergrad for years. And that was because we're just not there. So what do I need to do? I need to convince people. I understand you like the sports. I understand you want him to go into music. I understand that. But what I'm giving you is an opportunity that he can change literally his life, your life, and the lives to come.
Yes.
Yes.
And so find what it is. There's several careers in STEM. Find what it is that he likes. Prick that thing in him and be like, oh, I like that. Find what that thing is and cultivate it. Cultivate it, find it, and don't just push us to, so the challenge of thinking, oh, that's not for me. Those are geeks. I can't, that's not, those are for the nerds. I can't,
Mm-hmm.
So I told my kids, I was like, listen, next time I hear this nerd talk, I'm gonna show y'all what a nerd is and what a nerd can do and the impact. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because I was explaining. I had this conversation with the STEM club 2 weeks ago. We were talking about artificial intelligence, and one of the facts that came out about artificial intelligence is that it's coming for jobs of the minimum wage workers.
Wow.
And I had to explain to them what minimum wage was. I said that's how much they can legally pay you and stay on the right side of the law.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the least that you can go home with. They're not paying you anything over that.
Yes.
They're not paying you anything over, and they're coming for those jobs first.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why you don't want a minimum wage job as a career is because you want to be on the other side, creating solutions and building and doing all that stuff. That's where you want to be. And so now is the time to get those skills when you're in school to make sure that when you get out, you can demand top dollar.
Absolutely.
You can tell them that, listen, this is what I did. This is everything that I worked on, and you can demand top dollar. That is how we change the mindset coming out and change when we start to see the success now, the academic success of our kids. And it's no longer a surprise to be like, oh wow, he came from this neighborhood. No, it's no longer a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
There are such brilliant minds in every community.
Yes.
I have seen them walk into my lab at FDA. I had a DC school come through my lab, and I was talking to this one young man, and he blew me away. I was like, I need to get you an internship at FDA. This was last year. He's starting this summer an internship.
Awesome.
And the reason for that is because I was like, your mind, they will never find you. How deep you are, they will never find you.
Yes.
The minute I see someone like you, I now need to give you an opportunity somewhere else.
Yes.
And that's what it's about. Making sure that we're at the table where we can now reach back and look for that diversity that some people are afraid of.
Yes.
They're afraid of. But the solutions exist in diversity and inclusion.
Yes.
They do.
Correct.
They exist.
I noticed that when it comes to certain things with subjects matters where inclusion of certain areas of STEM and just engineering, like people are afraid because it's going to be separate them, make them look inferior, but this affects everyone. You know, if you are included in it, you can actually benefit everyone.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And you don't know what my invention, like for instance, the gentleman that did learned blood transfusion, how to do right blood type to the right, that affects everyone. So it's shouldn't be a fear anymore. It should be like, okay, if I can do it, you can do it. It helps us to be as a society to grow, to be strong, to be strengthened.
And to add to that, when you don't have a diverse set of eyes considering or creating a solution at the table, you find that the outcome is slanted toward a certain type. Okay? I watched a video, a colleague of mine sent me a video the other day where it was found that facial recognition imaging couldn't pick up for certain hues. You know? And I'm like, well, when you were testing that, who did you test? You know? Like, who did you test? And how did you not have a diverse set of individuals being tested? There's also a report of a company spent millions of dollars to put the faucets, you know, the motion detect faucets in their bathrooms, and they came in and they installed all of them, only to realize that the motion detector faucets could not pick up hands of a certain hue. And so they had to pull all of them out because it was only coming on for a certain hue. Now that's expensive.
That's correct.
So companies are now seeing where diversity and inclusion is to their benefit.
Of course.
And so they want us at the table, which is why they're paying top dollar, which is why they're coming to colleges, which is why they're offering money, scholarships, because they recognize that solutions team can't just look like a certain type.
That's correct.
It needs to be inclusive of everyone, and so that's why we need to take advantage of it.
I'm blown away. I'm blown away.
We absolutely need to take advantage of it.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We have a portion in our program that we use Proverbs.
Yes.
Okay, yes. I love the book of Proverbs, yes.
Well, actually, not the book,
Oh,
West Indian Proverbs. So,
oh,
specifically.
okay.
And because
You went, okay.
yes,
Oh.
as
That's
a native now, because our
Ooh,
show it needs to be
okay.
heard the diversity because this
Yes.
is a North American and South American,
Nice.
U.S.
Nice.
Guyana, so we have the differences. So I bring this because for me, I feel like being my culture, representing it into this world to understand that there is some things that may sound strange but have a deep meaning and really is something that is to uplift and encourage and bring powerful meaning to the circumstance. Okay. So this week's proverb, of course, I have to say it in Guyanese Creolese first.
Creolese.
Yes. And of course, give the standard English version, and then of course the definition of it.
Okay.
Now my poor co-host.
For me.
Okay.
My poor
All of
co-host, he struggles. He tries to understand. He really does. But we're gonna work with him. Okay. So today's proverb is basically: when you want to swim river, you gotta plunge inside first. When you want to swim river, when you want to swim river,
I got
you gotta
it.
plunge inside first.
Yes.
Right. When you want to swim in a river,
Yes, ma'am.
you have to first dive in.
Absolutely.
Okay. You have to. The translation of this proverb is: you have to take risks when you attempt new ventures.
Yes.
Yes.
And that is what
Yes.
you are doing with DNA Awesome,
Yes.
with STEM.
Yes.
And we are so grateful because it gives us an opportunity for people to understand. And you're diving head first, giving people an opportunity to understand there's a whole new world other than what we see initially in life.
Yeah.
And so when you want to swim river, you got to plunge in first.
Yeah,
Plunge in
first. I
first.
love it.
Yes.
Plus.
Plus.
That's first. Plus.
You go.
But having said that, I'm excited too. I'm more than
Yes.
excited because I'm thinking about so many other things that I would like to discuss with you. Just recently, because I'm in DC, and in Ward 7, we actually, you heard of Black Girls Code?
Yes,
Yes.
of course, yes.
So we actually have them coming to the Capitol View Library.
Nice.
And also how Oprah really put it out there. We want to get you out there.
I'm all for it.
For both. I'm talking about Oprah, I'm talking about all that because that's really what this is all about.
Yeah.
I really need to be here to create a platform to shine a spotlight on you and what all that, whoever connected to you are doing.
Yeah.
So we will be in touch.
Awesome.
Also, you said something that came to mind, try to share with individuals to follow your dream.
Yeah.
But when you walk on that path, other doors may open.
Yes.
But you would never find out about that door if you don't start.
Yes.
And that's what you did. You started
Yes.
with your mind and being an attorney,
Yeah,
but you
that's
saw that
right.
other door.
Yeah.
So we want to encourage everyone, young or old, to just at least get started. The worst thing you can do is quit. And in my entrepreneur class at Operation Hope, that's what they told us. That the worst thing you can do, it may not happen as fast as you want, but you quitting is the worst thing.
Yeah.
All right. And the other thing that came to mind as you were speaking was kind of went through my head real quick, but I'm trying to bring it back. But we just want to make sure that we keep in touch with you and to elevate you. But that was it. So you mentioned there was a young man that came from Washington D.C.
Yes.
Are there any endeavors to tap into that market?
To DC market? Absolutely. I was actually down at Dunbar High School.
Yeah! Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby!
Okay.
Yeah!
Okay, yes.
Yeah, baby!
Okay, so I guess we like Dunbar then.
men are emotional.
I'm so happy.
Man, I ain't shutting up. Gumball, baby. 93.
All right.
Okay, I'm done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Church in here.
Yes.
today.
I feel it in here, baby. I feel it in
I
here.
am not mad at you at all.
Yeah.
Oh, give me some. I am mad at you at all.
I did that fuss.
Fuss.
I'm sorry. That's my alumni, 93.
Hey, I'm not mad. Yeah, I was down there a few weeks ago.
Yes.
And so we're collaborating with them, working with them. I'm working with the director of engineering robotics
Awesome.
division. Got some kids. I mean, I'm excited. But yes,
Yes.
to answer your question, yes,
Yes.
DC. I'm particularly interested in getting into DC.
Absolutely.
DC and PG County. That's where I'm really, really focusing on. And so I'm excited about it. God has been opening doors since last June when it comes to DNA. Awesome things have been literally happening that I can't even explain. I'm speaking things before they even happen, and then I see them happen, and then he's like, "I told you," you know. So I'm just kind of where I'm typically a planner, and I have to see everything start to finish. My posture in this is, you gave this to me as a vision, and you're working it out. And he's been working it out bit by bit, sending the right people at the right time. So our first pilot group, we're in competition in April.
Awesome.
We're doing a robotics competition in April, and I said at the beginning, before I even knew who was going to be the coaches, I said I'm going to have 2 coaches. And right now I have a master's student, mechanical engineering robotics student at University of Maryland as one of the coach, and I have a recent PhD, doctorate mechanical engineering, robotics PhD, working with those kids. I didn't even know these individuals when I said that they're going to be in competition. You're going to have 2 coaches that are qualified to lead you. So he's been working it out. I'm excited for DC. I don't know what else to say, but I'm here for it all. That's all I'm saying. Lord, I'm here for it all.
Absolutely.
So how can we contact you, or anyone can contact you? Please let them know.
Sure.
DNA Awesome.
So my personal email for DNA Awesome is Landy, Landi, at DNAWESOME.com, DNAawesome.com. And our website is www.dnaawesome.com. You will find, you can contact us from there. You will find that we're asking for volunteers and we're asking for staff as well, because I need individuals for my Baltimore summer camp. I'm gonna need individuals for my PG County summer camp. I'm gonna need individuals who are ecstatic and passionate about STEM. For my Capitol Heights school, after school program, and my Baltimore after school program. So I'm looking for individuals who are about it and who are interested in pouring into the next generation of STEMists, what I call them, next generation of STEMists. So www.dnaawesome.com, or you can reach to me directly, Landy, Landi, at dnaawesome.com.
That was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So STEMist.
Yes, I call them STEMists. My STEMists.
So how long have you been saying STEMist? Because if it's here first, we're gonna coin it. We're gonna coin it. We're gonna trademark it. We're gonna make it work.
I've been saying it since last summer.
All right. Let's get the legal paper going. So you
Yes.
can have it, get you some t-shirts, STEMist.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So once again, you are watching It Needs to Be Heard. My name is Onika Terrell.
And my name is Mr. Robert Eugene Young.
So we want to thank Miss Landy
Thank you
James
so much.
for coming. We
Thank
are
you for
so
having me.
appreciative for you coming. It's been exciting. It's been informative.
Yes.
We are not going to let this just be a one-time thing. We definitely will have you back and see how much more it will grow, and any support we can give. Definitely, this is a guaranteed thing.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We want to just say blessings over your.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, I pray that God's blessing really extends it, enlarge the territory
Thank
for
you.
this, because this is something not just for yourself. This is for the community, his children, his people, and it's going to impact such a great thing. So we know that. We claim it. We claim it very much.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
joining
having me.
us.
I really do appreciate
Yes.
being here with you guys today.
Awesome. We also like to thank Tyron Dickerson, who was also our guest here with DC CAP. That's dccap.org. And the competition is April the 10th. And my sentiments are the same. I mean, this is like, you know how you're doing something and you're like, yeah, we doing it. And
yes.
and that's all of our guests. But it's like each week, even with Mr. Leroy McKenzie from last week, who was in Baltimore, it's really, and we're just really thankful once again for Dr. Baruch, and we also speak blessings over the endeavors that he is doing with eLife Media Group and with his restaurants. So continue to support Everlasting Life and eLife Restaurants as well.
So once again, my name is Onika Terrell,
And my name is Mr. Robert Eugene Young.
and it needs to be heard. Now that you heard it,
What will you do? Thank you.
Awesome.
Can I finish my show?
crazy.
I totally did not expect that.
No, hold up, wait a minute.
You didn't expect it.
I didn't expect it either. But all I gotta say
I ain't
is,
mad at you.
That's me, alma mater.
I'm not mad.
No,
I am not
It's
mad
showing
at
up
all.
not HD. I'm a trash talk.